Hey y'all, Pastor James here, and I'm coming to you today with the 6th chapter in our study on the book of Genesis. But before I do that, I just wanted to remind you to hit that subscription button if you haven't done so already. That way you can get access easily to my YouTube channel and get all of my sermons and my songs and stuff I've done in the past, as well as the different chapters to this Bible study. And also hit that notification bell so that as the new ones come out, you get notified that they're there so you are reminded to go watch them. Now let's dive into chapter 6 of Genesis. Genesis 6 serves as the bridge between the genealogies of Adam's descendants, which we learned about in chapter 5, and the account of the flood. This chapter portrays the deepening corruption of humanity and God's decision to bring judgment through the flood. At the same time, it introduces Noah as a righteous man who finds favor with God, setting the stage for divine preservation and covenant. So now let's go into the Bible and read chapter 6. Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with God. And Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how you shall make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark in its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third decks. And behold, I myself am bringing floodwaters on the earth, to destroy from under heaven all flesh, in which is the breath of life. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind, 2 of every kind will come to you to keep them alive. And you shall take for yourself of all food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. Thus Noah did, according to all that God commanded him, so he did. God bless the reading of his word. So I've been asked many times, what exactly is a cubit? Now God told Noah to build the ark 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. Well, a cubit is an ancient measure of measure. It's an ancient unit of measure, that is. That is the length of one's forearm, basically from the elbow to the tip of the middle finger. So it's approximately 18 inches or 1.5 feet. So if you look at that, if the ark was to be 300 cubits in length, it would be about 450 feet long, which is equivalent to about 1.5 football fields. So it was pretty good size. Now let's look at our key themes here in this chapter. The first one being human corruption and divine grief. Humanity multiplies, but so does wickedness. The sons of God taking the daughters of men introduces moral and spiritual confusion, possibly reflecting rebellion and intermingling of divine boundaries. God sees that every intent of human thought is only evil continually, leading to divine sorrow and regret over creating mankind. Now let's dive into this a little further. Genesis 6 verse 2 states that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves in all whom they chose. But what does that mean exactly? Well, this verse is describing a period of widespread intermarriage between the sons of God and the daughters of men, resulting in a corrupted human population. The identity of the sons of God is a highly debated topic, with some interpreting this to suggest that they were angels who abandoned their heavenly roles and began dwelling on earth. But others interpret them as the descendants of Adam and Eve's son Seth, which is in fact the lineage of godly men. I believe this interpretation to be more accurate, as Noah is in fact a descendant of Seth. The daughters of men are the human women of the time, probably those from the line of Adam and Eve's son Cain. Remember, he was banished from the area and went off to live with other descendants. And these women that were in his area were descendants of those who had fallen away from God and were not considered godly men or the sons of God. So I'm thinking this may have just been an intermingling between Seth's descendants and Cain's descendants. But God's response to this widespread wickedness was to bring the flood, which was a way of purging the earth of its corruption. Some scholars view Genesis 6:2 as a warning for God's people to maintain their spiritual separation from the world and to avoid intermarriage with those outside of their faith. Now let's go back to our key themes. Our second key theme is divine judgment announced. God declares his intention to blot out humanity along with animals, birds, and creeping things. This judgment highlights the seriousness of sin and God's righteous response to widespread moral collapse. Our third key theme is the limitation on human life. God sets a limit of 120 years, likely indicating either a shortened human lifespan or a countdown to the coming flood. This signals the closing of a period of extended grace before judgment falls. Now remember in chapter 5, Adam's descendants all lived to be into their 7, 8, and 900s. So life was long prior to the flood. And now God is setting our lifespan at 120 years, which is a huge difference. Our fourth key theme is Noah's righteousness. Noah is introduced as a man who finds favor with God, righteous, blameless in his generation, and one who walked with God. His character contrasts sharply with the corruption around him, showing that righteousness is possible even in a depraved world. Our fifth key theme is the ark and instructions. God gives Noah very precise instructions for building an ark to preserve life, his family, and representatives of all animals. The ark becomes a symbol of salvation and obedience in the face of coming judgment. And then our sixth key theme is the establishment of a covenant. God declares that he will establish his covenant with Noah, marking a shift toward redemptive purpose in the midst of destruction. This is the first mention of the word covenant in the Bible and lays the groundwork for future covenantal themes that we'll see throughout Genesis and Exodus. So, short lesson, but very quickly, that's it. That is chapter 6 of Genesis. It's all about preparation for the coming flood and destruction of humanity as we know it. The next chapter will take us into the flood itself, and we will get to that tomorrow. So, in the meantime, hope you enjoyed this lesson. Take care of yourself, and God bless you.